Acknowledgement exercise. This is a powerful exercise because it is not about positive thinking or self-esteem in the conventional sense. It is about changing our relationship with ourselves. What is this really about? Acknowledgement is the practice of consciously seeing and speaking the truth about who you are without minimizing, apologizing, or waiting for someone else to validate you. Acknowledgement is not ego, boasting, comparing ourselves to others, convincing ourselves of something that is not true. It is recognizing and honoring the gifts, the qualities, the choices, commitments, strengths, courage, kindness, resilience, and humanity that already exist within you. As my mentor Ankush said once, refusing to acknowledge yourself can actually be a form of rejecting God's creation. This one distinction changed absolutely everything for me, and I hope that it will also for you. Why do we resist it? Many us were taught that we should not brag. Don't think too highly of yourself. If someone compliments you, dismiss it. Over time, we begin to believe that self-acknowledgement equals some sort of arrogance. In reality, there is a profound difference. See, arrogance says, I'm better than you. Acknowledgement says, I'm willing to see the goodness that already exists within me. One compares, the other simply recognizes. So how to do this exercise? You can take a legal pad or a journal and you write one acknowledgement after another. Not affirmations, not wishes, acknowledgements. Here are some examples. I acknowledge my courage. I acknowledge that I keep my commitments. I acknowledge how deeply I care about people. I acknowledge that I have survived difficult seasons. I acknowledge my generosity. I acknowledge my willingness to keep learning. I acknowledge my patience. I acknowledge my creativity. I acknowledge the way I love my family, the way I take care of my body, the way I treat my house, the way I treat people around me. Continue writing. Do not stop after 20. Do not stop after 50. Keep writing until your mind runs out of obvious answers. Then keep writing. That is where something deeper begins to emerge. The purpose is quantity because quantity moves you beyond your conditioned identity. What happens during this exercise? Initially, people often experience resistance. I cannot think of anything. This feels uncomfortable. I am making this up. This sounds arrogant. And then something shifts. The inner critic begins to quiet. The mind starts looking for evidence of goodness instead of evidence of something else. You begin remembering experiences you had forgotten. You see yourself differently and more clearly during the day. And what really changes internally then? Many people report that this exercise creates first great self-worth. Your value begins to come from within instead of from external approval. Less defensiveness. When you already know your worth, criticism doesn't threaten your identity. Greater emotional stability. You become less reactive because your foundation is stronger. Increase confidence, not loud confidence, quiet confidence, the kind that comes from knowing who you are. Then there is greater capacity to receive. Compliments or acknowledgements from others no longer feel uncomfortable. You simply receive them with gratitude, with thank you for noticing. And then there is more authentic presence. Instead of shrinking yourself, you naturally occupy the space you were created to occupy. It's like the volume has been dialed way up, not because you became someone different, but because you stop hiding who you already always have been. And then there is an even deeper transformation. This exercise shifts our identity. Instead of asking, what is wrong with me? Our mind begins asking, what is true about me? Instead of collecting evidence that we are not enough, we begin collecting evidence of our wholeness. One can ask, why is repetition so important? One acknowledgement changes very little. Hundreds of acknowledgements begin rewiring where your attention naturally goes. Just as repeated self-judgment strengthens self-criticism, repeated acknowledgement strengthens your awareness of your inherent worth. Attention becomes identity. So here is the invitation. I would like to invite you to approach this as an act of love rather than some sort of self-improvement tool. You are not trying to become someone worthy. You are practicing seeing the person you already are. When we truly refuse to acknowledge the goodness within ourselves, we may actually be refusing to honor the Creator's work. That changes acknowledgement from an exercise in confidence into a spiritual practice of recognizing the divine within ourselves.